It's 12:35 on the 10th of June and it's 2023, and I'm uploading for the purpose of Interpol and the European Union with regard to incidents of crime that are occurring that have already incurred casualties on people's lives. There are people in a community that are damaging the Catholic Church. These people are also damaging the Constitution, and they're imposing upon people where they have no right to be. Now, there have been foul games at play. There have been people on foul cards that have been disrespecting the field of psychiatry, and unfortunately, due to the fact that I'm a Narcotics Anonymous, was anonymous until this scandal occurred in society, as I'm a recovery advocate and an educator with Narcotics Anonymous, the Fellowship of Sanity and Sobriety that I have initiated social reform on behalf of. There are people in my proximity on behalf of mentally disturbed practitioners, mental health practitioners that have falsified very dangerously and that have defamed very dangerously my good name, character and reputation. So these people are already in trouble with the Hippocratic Oath, they're already in trouble with the Church, they're already in trouble with the Catholic Church of My Holy Matrimony, and they're coming in and around people where they're really not safe. Now, in the past 20 minutes, I've just had a witnessing of my son on the streets there, that child has experienced trauma and spiritual violence in this community by property thieves and by individuals coveting from my farms where they're absolutely totally unsafe. So there are mentally disturbed individuals that are practicing witchcraft, that are acting on behalf of mental health practitioners, that have been of crimes that I have experienced in this community, that have brought about COVID-19, and COVID-19 has originated from me. Now, there are people not understanding that it's quite dangerous for me to be experiencing any discomfort. I'm self-healing, I'm of social reform. People breaking the law and causing discomfort and false reporting are really not making themselves safe in society, especially when they're discussing people's private lives, home lives or personal lives. Anyone breaching confidentiality is in very serious trouble with the law. So the authorities, the Garda Síochána, we've already seen what has happened to them. There are people that have risked the Garda Síochána, and yet again it's happening with ASBOs in my proximity claiming authority where they are not in authority at all. So they'd be advised not to act on behalf of any mental health agency that has been already guilty of slander of my good name. Narcotics advocates of recovery and social reform that I initiated are fully aware that there are mentally disturbed individuals in the field of psychiatry and of property fraud, farm fraud, that are putting people's lives at risk again. So it's awful serious if the authorities are being put at risk. The Garda Síochána have already suffered, and I'm just after seeing my child walk up the street of Rock Street, where he was in the company of two adults, what I seem to have seen as two adults, male and female, and a young female child. So my child is not legally from my care. Tooth the Child and Family Agency have caused an awful dangerous situation taking a royal child from his mother. I'm the sole provider and caregiver of my child since he was born, and there are people that have been of financial racketeering that have resorted to awful lengths to change their identity to evade the consequences of their financial fraud, really. They've had to do awful changes to their adjustments to their new lifestyles as a consequence of their crimes against the the state, really, I suppose, in the Constitution. So in the best interest of any individuals that are imposing upon me, defaming my name, you might learn a few things about protocol and boundaries and where you're not safe offending my good name on behalf of any mental health agency that's already quite guilty of very dangerous crimes against COVID-19 protocol. As for any other individuals making insinuations as of 2006 that have damaged the Department of Education, Agriculture, Family Protection and my legislation, those people are aware of the burden that they are carrying and passing on to their children. It's the children that paid the price. So unfortunately, that's a consequence of adults that are ASBOs. So I hope the Interpol agency and the European Union are on the right side of the law with me. And if not, then I say that they need to look back on the past 5 years and see what blasphemy, sacrilegious profanities have done against um, my good name to this society where there have been casualties. So it's only like very short period of time since this problem has commenced, since people started coveting my farms and unlawfully withholding my child from me. So just to get it clearly understood to them, they're not within remit or within rights to be practicing in any shape or form. People that are discussing any matter that is a breach or not in line or in adherence, they're stepping into new territory that is yet again going to have a burden upon them that might not be so comfortable with, as we've already seen. There have been casualties. And those that are practicing Wicca on my body, you might be careful about the laws of Wicca. It's quite dangerous what witchcraft I'm contending with. So they're not in good practice there either, and they know their debts and their dues, so hopefully they'll be able to come clean. Any perverts of privacy, you know what the burden is, there's always a penalty. If the Garda Síochána wouldn't mind locating my little blonde-haired boy that's gone up the street at Rock Street wearing a green t-shirt and blue shorts, I'd greatly appreciate it. Tuesday Child and Family Agency don't have rights to my child's care and upbringing at all, and there are no people meant to be on my farm holdings. So this is for the interest of Interpol. The Garda Síochána have already suffered at the hands of people offending me. Their position has been compromised. So if that's going to be continuing, then I suppose we can expect more casualties. Those that have resorted to a face and name change, it doesn't change the story plot or line of the ways that have led people down the wrong avenues with the problems they've been doing racketeering. It's very dangerous what I'm contending with. So everyone be very careful suffering from mental illness and compromising their safety and the safety of the authorities with nonsense. My child in the past 30 minutes has been seen in Rock Street. He's meant to be in the care of his mother, so I'd appreciate everyone doing what they're supposed to be doing, besides putting people on death row, taking on problems where they already owe me since 2006 for damages, harms and losses. Sad sign of the times.